Good evening. I don't think I can anymore. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Turn you up. It's good. Thank you. Okay, this is a poem I want to start off with from a dear friend of mine who gave it to me. And it's rather beautiful. So, it goes like this. After a while, you learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't mean security. And you begin to learn that kisses aren't a contract and presents aren't promises. And you begin to accept your defeats with your head up and your eyes ahead, with the grace of a woman, not the grief of a child. And you learn to build all your roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans and futures have a way of failing down in mid-flight. After a while, you learn that even sunshine burns if you ask too much. So you plant your own garden and decorate your own soul instead of waiting for someone to bring you flowers. And you learn that you really can endure, that you really are strong, and you really do have worth. And you learn with every goodbye, you learn. Thank you, Judith. Now, this next piece I wrote, it's based on true stories. The names have been changed, and it's okay to say it because I have permission. But it's something that I got inspired that I needed to write, because there's a phrase that I heard, and it goes something like this. It says that the foolish ones, they never learn from their mistakes. The smart ones, they learn from their mistakes. And they're the wise that learn from the mistakes of others. So this is why I wrote these stories. In order for hopefully somebody who's thinking of making a mistake might think twice about it and not have to do it themselves, but to keep in mind other people's mistakes. If only I can find the page. Let's see, where is that? You know, guys, I'm sorry. I love this notebook so much that I don't want to let it go. So I have to write in it, in every single page there is. Aha, here it is. So, it's called Can You Imagine? And the story is based on Angela and Amy with a hint of Adam. I know it's not a recipe. So, can you imagine a world where children are born into loving families, uncorrupted societies, and a pure earth? Sure. Every day, all day. Realistically, though, situations are less perfect for various reasons. Reasons that would require a story of their own. In this story, the names have been changed, and here's one of them. Angela was a straight-A student, church-going, sweet-natured girl. Her mother was very loving but shy, and her father didn't really know how to raise children because he had been orphaned in an early age. They lived in a small village that was beautiful, full of opportunity, but they seemed to pass by every opportunity because the father didn't really have a sense of direction. The father loved his daughter, but he had a pride weakness of never listening to a girl on business advice. So you can only imagine what that would actually do to self-esteem. Angela's mother sent her away to the city in order to start a real life of opportunity. Long story short, Angela was unaware of good and evil outside of theory. Her innocent face shone like a beacon in the darkness of a very trashy society, and she had no one to protect her or warn her. Decent people would actually never dream of taking advantage of the girl, but what about the opposing side? Living in theory, Angela didn't know how to compare, and so the wrong guy came along who knew how to say all the right things. Men like him got off in manipulating women, and especially Angela, who gave his ill behavior the benefit of the doubt. The manipulator would take everything from her because she didn't know how to say no to him, nor did she want to make him mad. A selfish manipulator whose biggest weapons was how he was abused by his bad childhood himself. His motto was, he was the master of boning. So, if only after the breakup he found out how under average he really was, and that it took more than hips moving in bed in a certain motion, he would actually think twice before giving up his steroids. Now, so it won't be sexist, this is a story about Adam. Adam was a shy, gentle man who was introduced by a friend to this whore, quote unquote. But not your average whore. This was the kind that you needed to take to dinner and shopping, and then when you ran out of money, she would say goodbye. The friend didn't mean any harm. He just wanted the man to get a little action. But unfortunately, Adam, who didn't really have much experience and he was very romantic of a guy, he thought that the quote-unquote whore truly liked him. So he married her, and after they had a sweet, loving daughter who, thank goodfully, took after his side of the family, he actually went through a not-so-sweet divorce. Now, Amy had a similar history with Angela, except that she went as far as getting engaged. She worked very hard for him, got loans and credit cards because the fiancé did not have any credit. It was so bad that they wouldn't lend him a pencil. Well, after a long time of working together and she trying to make it work, he meets this other bisexual girl on the IM who actually swayed him. Well, maybe not actually swayed him. Maybe he really fell in love with her. But she wanted 10 women in the bed with the fiancé. So of course he told Amy to go. Amy was asking one of her friends, would you pick a nice bride that would build a life with you, or would you pick a bisexual woman who wants 10 women in the bed with you? Well, the friend actually told her, listen, every man has a fantasy of multiple women in bed. It depends, but in truth, I would have chosen the 10 women. That's when a light bulb, one of the many little light bulbs that went unlit in Amy's head, actually turned on. And she realized some things that would help her for the rest of her life. Imagine that.